my camera now.
How we do? Aw, I got the weather picture.
Alright, you guys, so I'm about to go through the blog post and do some more editing and create my pins. After I do my own editing, I like to come in here into the Wix back end and have this AI also give me grammar corrections. Okay, so it says that the grammar is generally strong. That's because I checked it before coming in here, and it's giving me a few minor corrections. I know that Grammarly is also giving me a lot of corrections, but I find Grammarly to like sometimes over add commas, and so I finished the final editing for the blog, and I'm gonna admit it took longer than what I thought it would, but I think it looks pretty good now. So now I'm going to add my signature in here that I've already uploaded into my Wix account. So it's just like a nice touch to make it more personalized. And then I'm going to create my pins for Pinterest. Pinterest is like a search engine so people could find your blog posts. I actually purchased a template from another creator on Etsy that basically designed all these pins, and I get to just customize it for my own needs. So what I did, I went on Pinterest and just searched Daniel Fast to see what other people are posting to get an idea of what I should do as well. And it's going to be promoting a free ebook. I think I want to do something like this that says 21 days of Daniel Fast meal plan ideas, and something like this as well. What is the Daniel Fast and should I do it? Okay, these two look good, so I'm going to download these. I'm actually going to create one more pin dedicated to my ebook, but I have to make the ebook first, and then I'll create the pin, and then I'm gonna upload it in the area where I talk about the related pin. So this one is how to prevent failure during a Daniel fast, and I'm going to put that right here on how to prepare for a Daniel fast. And then when it first uploads, it comes out really big like this, so I'm just going to adjust it so it's smaller. And that looks really nice. So it's looking more like a blog post now. And then I'll put my video, I'll put a link once I record the video, I'll put it right here, and then I'll put the pin about the ebook somewhere around here. And you guys, I also have a sisterhood group section for my page, so if you want to join, we could just talk and chat it up, you know, just have a sisterhood bond. I know it's kind of difficult, you know, when people live all over the world, but this is like an area where you can come together and we can relate to each other. You know, I just wanted to create a safe space for like an online sisterhood, so I have that on my website if you want to check it out. That's it for the blog post. I actually have a masterclass coming up in 15 minutes. What I like to do, I like to take masterclass from people who have succeeded in certain areas that I'm interested in, like coaches, YouTubers, entrepreneurs. So they'll tend to have free masterclasses in order to like sell like their coaching business or classes, other classes or courses or whatever, which is perfectly fine. But I tend to get like a lot of wisdom and information from these classes. The last master class I took was on neuroscience. Her name was M on the Brain on social media. She basically talked about how you basically create the reality that you have. Your outer reality is dependent on your inner thoughts and your actions. So that was a really powerful class to me. I learned a lot and I took a lot of notes. These are my notes from her class, okay? From M on the Brain. That's crazy, right? She's a neuroscientist and she's really young, and she went to school to study all this. So for her to give out free knowledge is like, there are so many people out there that are willing to give you free knowledge and understanding and how to better your own life, and it's up to you to grab those golden nuggets because the information is out there. You just have to find it. So I'm very intentional on trying to further my understanding and knowledge. I am a learner at heart. I love learning, so that's why I love taking notes. That's why I'm always interested in like a variety of different things. I literally called myself the other day a jack of all trades and master of none, and I used to think this was a negative thing because that's how people would talk about it, but I started to realize it's actually a gift to be able to learn a whole bunch of different things and to be good at it. Now, I wouldn't say like I'm a master of anything particular, but I am very good at what I do. Try to teach myself, like my various interests include like hair, nails, makeup. I wouldn't say like I'm like extremely good at it, but I'm pretty good at it, and I just you know, realized for myself that I don't have to be a master of any one particular thing. It's okay not to be a master of any one particular thing. It's okay to have different interests. I think that makes life more interesting to me when you learn a variety of things. I'm going to go ahead and wash up and then get ready for this class and change out of my clothes. Hello guys, it's another day. Today is Thursday for me and it's towards the end of the week and the weekend and my payday. Thank the Lord. Okay, my weekends, I like to start my weekends like on Thursday and Friday, if that makes sense, or at least prepare for it. I mentioned earlier that I like to pre-prep my meal prep, so I'll like marinate my meat. So on Thursdays I like to take out meat that I'm going to make, take it out the freezer. I have like a meal prep rotation idea spreadsheet that I use. This week is going to be meatless. I'm going to do a butternut squash. I'm thinking with curry and chickpeas. That sounds good. Lately I have been a little obsessed with chickpeas. First of all, I love chickpea curry. I used to make that all the time, but then I started making them out of, like, people say you can make chocolate chip cookies out of them, so I started doing that. Girl, it's been like a little obsession ever since like I ended my Daniel fast. I have learned a lot about beans and different creative ideas you can do with beans, so I've been loving chickpeas lately, and I have a whole bunch of cans that I need to use up. I'm gonna do that so I don't have to defrost any meat. Usually I would take it out the freezer ahead of time so that I'm not waiting for it to defrost by the time I want to cook. It's already marinated, it's already sitting in the refrigerator and ready to go. But I do like to cut up my vegetables as well. Anything that's time consuming and that could save me time while I'm cooking, I like to do ahead of time. So I like today I'll cut up my butternut squash, maybe some onions. I don't know if I'm going to use peppers in it, but however much I can do before the day I cook, I try to do it ahead of time. And then I like to make like my weekend checklist. So I have this notepad right here I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just like to write down like things that I want to tackle on the weekend and kind of start it off on Thursday so that I'm not trying to do everything on the 2 days that I'm off. I try to spread it out throughout the week. I've already done laundry, so I just need to put away my laundry. I need to clean up our room, I need to clean up the bathroom, and I need to clean up my daughter's room, and then do my regular meal prep plan for the next week ahead that's coming up ahead. I don't like to call it budgeting anymore because I'm trying to switch up my vocabulary when it comes to centering around money and reprogramming my mind about money. So I use the term allocation. So whenever I get my paycheck, I kind of allocate my money for whatever bills. I have like a system going on. My method is, so say I have a student loan that's coming up that's $250, and I have 2 pay periods before that student loan is due for the month. What I do is I save half of that payment for one paycheck, and then I save the other half in another paycheck to get the total by the time that it's due. So I'll save $125 one paycheck, and then the next time I get paid I save another $125, and then that combined is $250, and then that's what gets allocated towards my student loans. Instead of doing it all in one paycheck, I like to break it up bi-weekly. So that's what I'll do this coming up Friday. I need to record, I need to create the ebook for the Daniel fast, I need to look over my calendar for what's coming up. Okay, so I was in my planner earlier just writing down things that I need to complete, like I was telling you guys, for meal prepping and work and stuff. I do have my payday sticker right here, and then here's my weekend checklist. I also want to make some bread for the first time, so I'll probably take you guys through the process. It looks really simple, but I do need to go to the store to buy some yeast. I need to write that down. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do my weekend checklist. I can just do it in here, but I like to see it all in one list and just separate it. This was my checklist last week. Sometimes I have a running list of things that I need to buy, like the cleaning products that I showed you guys, parchment paper, oat flour. I did find that at Ross. And then my to-dos: workout, clean out basement. I was on like a decluttering series, and I, for the most part, already decluttered like most of my stuff, my clothes, my children's clothes, stuff I didn't need. And now I need to get to like the organization part, meal prep, writing blog, which I already finished writing my blog yesterday. So I'm gonna write my current weekend checklist. And then I'm going to church Sunday. Going to be editing. Okay, that is my kind of idea of what I want to accomplish. And yeah, like I said, Daniel fast has me going, like, considering going meatless every once in a while. Raspberry tea leaf because my cycle is coming up. And not just that, this tea is actually really good. So So I read today's devotional. I'm not actually reading this in order because I picked this up after the date, but I'm still reading it. Something that it says that really stuck out to me was that what goes on in your mind is invisible, undetectable to other people, but I read your thoughts continually, searching for evidence of trust in me. I rejoice when your mind turns towards me. I thought that was thought-provoking because I tend to hide a lot, especially with things that are going on in my head. People that know me well tend to know that something might be off or might be wrong. Like my husband, they might not know exactly what I'm going through, but it's interesting to see that God reads your thoughts continuously. What he's searching for is evidence of trust in him. So he's not reading your thoughts just to read them, but to see if you actually trust him, if you're actually turning towards a more positive mindset or a more negative mindset. You know, because we might be able to fool people with our outer appearance, trying to keep it all together, but you can't fool God. He knows everything that's going on inside of you. So even if you do have negative thoughts, even if you do say that you trust God, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking of a plan B, C, D to find your way out of a situation and not really depending on God. He knows everything that's going on. So it's not to say you can prevent these thoughts from happening, but try to redirect them toward a more positive spirit and trust in God is what I got from this. I was telling you guys about BookBub the other day. Basically, they curate books for you based off your interests and send you emails every day on daily deals and stuff like that. So today, sometimes they have free books on here. So one of my interests is Christian nonfiction, and they have a book called, I don't know if you guys can see that, Reclaiming Revival for free. So if you have a Kobo or Amazon account, you can get it for free. So you just click buy now and get for free. And then boom, you get you a free book. And then they have another book for free. And this is why I always look every day. Like, I will always look in BookBub to see what they have. The Unknown Woman by Riley Dark. It looks like it's a psychological thriller, which is one of my interests as well. I typically don't like, oh, it says I already got this book. I typically don't like books that are in a series, but I guess if the first book is good enough, because that means you have to keep reading all the books. But if the books are good enough, then I guess. I just want to show you guys that real quick, that you can get free books. There was one book that I read called Missing in Flight that I think I got for free, and it was a thriller book as well. I read that book in like, it's so funny because when I first got it, I was dragging reading this book because it was a slow start, but then I decided to switch it up and use the Alexa to listen to it. I read that book in one day. It was really good. I was reading the reviews and people were talking about something is over dramatized and unrealistic. I like unrealistic dramatized books like that because it's like, use your imagination. I don't know, you watch TV shows with unrealistic stuff, so it's like the same thing goes for a book. Of course it's unrealistic, it's fiction. So I don't know, I really love that book. That just goes to show, like, you never know what might pique your interest. So I just try to read whatever book deals they might have on sale and see if it's a book that I end up loving. I had just went outside to get my packages. Package. These are the workout leggings I was talking about. I ordered 3 of them, but I only got 1. I'll probably get another one later. Ordered one in black, brown, and pink. And these are the brown ones. Hopefully they fit well. These are it right here. So maybe when I go to the gym tomorrow, I can show them. And these ones have pockets in them. They have the crisscross band, which is what I like. They're not too thick and they're not too thin either. Oh, it looks like the pockets have like that sweat fabric type of material with the air holes in it. Some people were saying these were really long. I actually prefer my pants to be really long because when I sit down, I don't like for them to rise up. Even though I'm short, I'm only 5'3", I feel like I have long legs and a short torso. I like for my jeans to be really long. The other day I had told you guys I ran out of my wrinkle spray, so I brought like this big thing of Downy wrinkle release spray, and it comes with the spray nozzle separately, which I've never seen that in the store. So maybe they only do that online. Oh, it only comes with 1 nozzle spray. That's crazy. Yeah, they legit only gave you 1. That's okay. I told my husband I would give him 1, but we're just gonna have to share 1 because he likes to take mine and use it. I don't like to keep opening up the ironing board to iron my clothes. I'm a little lazy, but I will do it if I have to, if it necessitates. But most of the time I just spray this stuff on like my shirts and stuff, and it works really well, especially if you're in a time crunch. And this was a pretty good deal. The other can, the Bounce, is like $6, but then if you do the math, this is actually cheaper because you get 33 fluid ounces, and it's a 2-pack for $15, which makes it like $7 each, and this will last way longer. So I think this is the better bargain. I'll leave a link in the description box if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, that's my Amazon packages for now. Good morning. Well, the morning for me started way earlier, about 3:30 a.m. Now we are later in the morning. I think I'm about to go grab some breakfast really quickly. I just wanted to come on here to talk about what I was reflecting on this morning. I am still on a weight loss journey somewhat. I feel like it never really ends. I don't know. But that's like a whole different topic. But with this channel kind of reflecting more of my lifestyle, my health journey and fitness. And I had mentioned earlier that I had lost about like 30 pounds a couple of years ago without using a gym, just eating right and working out at home. And this morning, I usually try to weigh myself like once a week. I used to be obsessive with the scale and weigh myself every day just to try to see like the most microscopic progress. God has convicted me to stop doing that, to stop weighing myself every day, which I have. So I'll try to do it like once or twice a week. And this morning I weighed myself. I was like at 135.6. I've been teeter-tottering between 135.4 and 0.6. After I had completed the Daniel fast, I had weighed in about like 134. And then I went out of town. You know, I wasn't fasting anymore. I ate unrestrictedly. I had fun. So of course, naturally my weight went up by like 2 pounds. So I was 136 by the time we came back. It's been 3 weeks since, and now I'm at 135. So not quite back to where I was originally. I realized that now there are different factors that affect weight loss, but before I did not realize that, and I would beat myself up over every little progress that I feel like that I didn't make or that I should have made. I felt like I had to lose a pound every week, but that wasn't the case for my body. I fluctuate a lot with cycle syncing. That's why I talk about cycle syncing a lot, because it's so important, because as women we tend to fluctuate in hormones and stuff throughout the month. And I'm in my late luteal phase right now. I should be getting my period within a couple of days, so I tend to get really bloated around this time and retain a lot of water, which is interesting because the other day I was at like 136 points something, like almost 137, and then after the same day when I went to the gym and came back, I lost a whole pound. So it's so crazy how this works, because that day, Wednesday actually, when it was 80 degrees outside, I noticed that when it's really hot, I tend to get like my fingers and my feet tend to get really swollen. So I think I retain water when it's warm outside, especially when I first wake up in the morning. I have a lot of water retention. So I'm starting to just notice like little things about my body and what may make my weight fluctuate. And it's not really a determinant of fat loss. Weight is different from fat loss. It's like right now I feel good. I don't feel like I look the same as I did before. Even before the Daniel fast, which I started on the first week of January, I was weighing in almost at 140. I was like 139 point something, and I was very frustrated with myself. Just within those 3 weeks I got down to like 134, 135. I say all this to say that even though sometimes I feel like I should be further, I don't beat myself up anymore over every little thing. It was really bad. Like it was to the point where like I would cry, I would get mad, I would skip workouts, I would binge eat, just like almost like retaliation for me not doing, or for my body not doing what I expected to do. I would feel like I would work so hard, I would restrict so much just to not get the results that I want. So it really affected me emotionally. And this time around it's more different. I realized that, hey, I'm in my luteal phase. My period is about to start. I'm gonna retain more water. It was warm out, so when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to retain more water. So just realizing that my body fluctuates, just because the average is lose 10 pounds a month or even lose 5 pounds a month, I might not lose 5 pounds in a month. I'm daggone for sure not gonna lose 10 pounds in a month. I'm short. My body is different from the bodies that I see online. I have to respect that. Just because I didn't lose any weight this week, that's okay. Later on in my cycle, I might be able to have more energy and might be able to have a little bit more discipline when it comes to eating. Right now, my eating is not that bad. I'm still, you know, eating less processed food. I'm not eating as much takeout, but I have been eating more, and that tends to happen in your luteal phase because your body wants more carbs. So I have been eating more carbs and I'm fine with it. But I know that once, you know, that phase moves along, I'm going to be more back on my grind, especially once I start to hit my ovulation phase. Just realize that your body fluctuates. It's okay if you find yourself really bloated one day so then you want to throw away all your progress. But no, don't do that, because if you wait, you see your body starts to regulate as, you know, you move along during different phases of your cycle. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the pants that I brought the other day. They're not, I would say they're not the same quality as the ones that I got from Charlotte Russe. I just washed them and I think they might be in that basket, so let me go get them. So here are the pants that I got from Charlotte Russe that I wanted. They were like 10 bucks and they have like the crisscross that I was talking about. It's by the brand Sommer. And I got these in a size large. This was only pants left in the color black. So I said, whatever, I'll just get them. And they actually fit pretty snug for a size large. I don't know what that means. These are it. I really like these pants. They're nice and thick. They're not like too thin, but they're still like stretchy. They're still stretchy and breathable, and they're really long. So I wanted some more like these, but of course that was when we went out of town, so I haven't checked my local Charlotte Russe to see if they have this brand. But and then this was the matching jacket that I got with it by the same brand, and you know, it's like those Lululemon dupe. I really like this jacket. It's so soft and buttery. I never had a Lululemon jacket, so I don't know how those actually look, but I see a lot of dupes like on TikTok and stuff. That's how that looks. So I brought those two at Charlotte Russe, and I wanted some more of those type of pants because right now for workout pants, I wear like a lot of tights, like, you know, conforming to your body type of like yoga leggings. And I like the flare out pants just to switch it up. This jacket has pockets and it's like a thin light jacket, but these pants don't have pockets. So I got the ones that I'm wearing right now. This is how they look, and these actually have pockets in them. These aren't as buttery in texture, like they're not as soft and thick as these, but they're like comparable, you know. I would wear this, honestly, these pants and that jacket to run errands outside. Like if it's like a nice cool spring day, that would be cute to wear. And I'm wearing this right now for, you know, working at home. Yeah, sometimes I like to wear my workout clothes as lounge clothes sometimes. It depends on which clothes it is. What in the world? I just discovered this pocket on the, I'm looking at the pants. I'm like, why is there a pocket right here? So is this supposed to be like a foam pocket? That confused me so much because I'm like looking at it like, what is this? No, I don't think you could put your phone in here because it would fall right out. And why would you put it on your backside anyways? Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to put back there. But I wish it did have like regular pockets because I like to put my phone in my pocket when I'm working out. But that's okay. These pants are cute. So I don't know. I might have to put these in my regular clothes and not in my gym clothes. And then just wear the black ones that I got from Amazon as my workout clothes because I like these pants. All right, I'm about to go make me some breakfast. I think I might make some pancakes. I forgot I had made this banana bread carrot cake situation, and it's in the refrigerator, so I need to eat that. And I ran out of meal prep today, y'all, so because I only make meal prep for 4 days, and that's for my lunch, and then I just do whatever for dinner. So I have to like figure it out on Fridays, so it kind of gives me a break from eating the same thing over and over again every single day. I only do it for 4 days, so it's really like nothing. I made some drumsticks and some rice for my kids. I didn't feed it to them every day, so I think there's like a few left over, so I might eat some drumsticks and rice and maybe some of the cabbage for lunch today. Oh, and today I'm gonna make some beans with my soup to go with my soup. I'll try to do as much as I can so I'm not in the kitchen forever, so I can have time to do other stuff. And then I have a side of Welch's grapes. I had gotten this organizer from TJ Maxx. It was about $20. And it just houses like not all, but some of my grains, like popcorn, lentils, beans, black rice, brown rice. And it just makes it easier to like dispense. I think this is navy beans, which is what I used last time in one of my soups. So I'm going to take some of this, and you just push this button and it takes out the beans. Oops, I think I dropped some. So I'm gonna soak them in my Instapot. And just soak the beans. I'm not gonna turn on the Instapot, but I will them after work. I was telling you guys about BookBub. Right now they have the 48 Laws of Power on sale for only $1.99 on Amazon and Kobo. I've heard a lot about this book on social media, of course, and I actually put this book on my wish list, but I was like, $16.99, I'll wait for it to go on sale, and it went on sale. And I got a notification from BookBub. I get to go directly to my Amazon account and purchase the book. So it went from $16.99 to $2. There's no reason why you should not be reading books, okay, to improve yourself. That's one of my most powerful self-improvement, personal development hacks, is to read books. Because the thing about books is, like, people will put their wisdom, their knowledge, their application, their life experiences all in a book. It's almost like taking a shortcut in life. Instead of going the long way, somebody says, hey, come over here, I know a shortcut you can take, go over there, and it really cuts your journey in half. That's why I love books. Speaking of books, of course I gotta plug in my book. I wrote a book called Let God Be Your Medicine. I will link it in the description box if you want to check it out. But yeah, I heard a lot of great things about the 48 Laws of Power. And it's so funny. All I have to do is just wait. And I feel like God just brings me the stuff that I want. I don't know how you would interpret this. So for example, the keyboard. Like I've been saying, I love this keyboard almost more than the original one that I was gifted. I had that keyboard that my friend gave me in my wish list for a long time ago. I just didn't want to buy it because they raised up the price like $20, like $10. And I know it's not that expensive, but you know, I'm trying to save a little bit of coin or whatever. I had it on my wish list for the longest time, and I would look at keyboards occasionally, and I, you know, bought the other pink one that I had, but I wasn't totally in love with it. The white keyboard that I showed you guys, I was just so happened to be scrolling on my Amazon page, and it was like one of the recommended products, and I just clicked on it and I read the reviews, and I was like, okay, this seems like a really nice keyboard. I didn't know it did all that lights and all those special stuff. That's the first I've seen on a keyboard. And you can pop out the keys. It came with something that you can take the keys out and customize it. I've seen where people like put their own buttons, you know, on the keys and stuff like that, and it's super cute. I'm not gonna be doing that. I did kind of want a pink keyboard, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of really like the white one. I'm loving when I press the buttons, like each button lights up a different color, and I love the way this keyboard sounds in my ear. I am a stickler for like certain noises and sounds. I don't know if it's that I'm sensitive to sounds. I am definitely sensitive to like loud noises. I don't like loud noises, and I don't like certain sounds in my ear. This keyboard, it makes me want to type more. It sounds so creamy, like those creamy keyboards you see on TikTok that people be showing off. Some people got like a whole keyboard collection, okay, like 10 keyboards. Okay, I'm not into all that. This is enough for me. And of course I have a backup just in case something happens to that and I need a keyboard, obviously. So I'm really happy with this keyboard so far. Even the side right here lights up, so at night if it's dark and you close all the lights, you could just see like this keyboard lighting up. It's so freaking cute. I know I'm ranting and raving about a keyboard, but if you're like an office girly or a computer girly that likes to, like, you know, type up stuff, I think you would really like this keyboard. And it's very affordable. Even when it's not on sale, I think it was like maybe like $50 and I got it for $40. It's not bad. So the only thing is it does have to stay plugged in. It's not wireless, which I thought it was wireless because you could just unplug it, but no, it has to stay plugged in order for it to work, which I did have to move around some stuff to make it work because I did not like this wire poking out and it was kind of getting in the way of my iPad. So I ended up like connecting all these cords together with this strap that it came with so that it's not like all messy, and then I just moved my iPad up here so that's how my desk area is looking like. And then so that this is like my stationery stuff. I just push this forward so I can be able to see, you know, if I need a sticky note or something, but I can like just push it back if I don't want it to be cluttered or whatever. But yeah, that is my keyboard. I am loving this so far. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is cute, and I just feel like God put this in my purview because I was looking for another keyboard for the longest time, and I just so happened to find this. But I almost like wanted to return it because of this, but then lo and behold, I like it better. It's lunchtime, and like I said, on Fridays I just make up whatever for lunch. So I just have some chicken drumsticks right here that I made for the kids. I have some rice, some cabbage, and some chickpeas. Like I said, I'm trying to incorporate more beans into my diet. Beans are a miracle medicine food, okay? If you don't know, do some research on beans. And the sauce is like, it came from a Peruvian restaurant. Like, you know those rotisserie chicken that they be making in the oven that spins around, and it's so good, and it tastes like charcoal rotisserie chicken. So the restaurant makes a sauce, and my husband bought like 2 containers of the sauce by itself. So I just drizzled some of the sauce on here, and that is my plate. Bon appetit. And then for my snack, I have a chickpea chocolate chip cookie and a mandarin. Just gonna snack on this. I might get me a cup of coffee. A lot of times after I eat lunch, I get into like an afternoon slump and be wanting to go to sleep, but I still have like a few more hours of work left, so I have to power through. And I'm trying not to drink coffee every single day. I didn't drink it yesterday. I drank tea yesterday, but even with tea, I'm trying to reduce my caffeine intake because I don't want it to like affect me negatively. But I've been up since 3:30 a.m. this morning. This is the texture of the cookie. It's more soft than anything. It's not completely like a chocolate chip cookie. If you go and make this, it tastes different, but it is a good alternative if you want to eat healthy, and it's made out of chickpeas, so you're getting fiber and protein. Okay guys, it's way later in the evening and I'm starting to feel a little bit under the weather. You know how your throat starts to get like all scratchy and you could feel it like all right here? That's how I'm starting to feel, and that's like the early signs of me getting a cold or something. So it was mad windy outside today, so I don't know. So I finished my food and now I'm working on my ebook, and I completely forgot that I was recording because I'm not used to doing this. And how I prepared to write the ebook, I actually wrote down a list of the foods that I made during the Daniel fast. This is my 3rd attempt, and the 3rd attempt was actually the successful one. My 2nd attempt last year that I did this, it was in August, right? It was when we came back from vacation in Florida. We had went to Universal and Disney, and I decided to start a Daniel fast to kind of, you know, reset myself, and I thought it was like a good, you know, spiritual reset. I only lasted for 5 days, but luckily I had to record and to take pictures of the food that I was eating. So now that experience wasn't wasted. I'm using it in the ebook that I'm writing now, which is great. So anyways, like I was saying, I had written down like all the foods and the ingredients that I made. I'm not making out like complete recipes, full-blown instructions and stuff. It's just gonna be like meal ideas. Okay, so the way I am doing this, I actually purchased a cookbook template off of Etsy, and thank the Lord, because I don't think I would have been able to do this from scratch. Not this aesthetically pleasing anyways. This is a recipe book template. It comes with stock pictures, it comes with like the layout, the font, and this is the same exact font that I use in my other templates too. So I just thought this was perfect for me. Like, I feel like God literally put this in my line of sight for me to purchase, because I was trying to do this from scratch, but I was like, this is not looking right. So I was like, dang, I wish I could buy a cookbook template. And I thought about Etsy. I found one that works really well for this purpose. Over here on this other screen, these are my pictures and videos that I have taken during my Daniel fast. What I am doing, I'm just inserting my own pictures in here. I'm gonna just, you know, plug and play. I'm gonna put in my own titles, my own words, but I already have a template ready for me to go. So these are my pictures that I took. I'm gonna write the title and then give you like the ingredient listing that I used, and that's gonna be the ebook. I'm also including a meal planner with a example of what I ate in here. So you'll get your own blank ones for the 3 weeks, and then like I have a example of a grocery list of actual items that I did purchase for myself, and then you have your own blank grocery list, 2 different types. I think I'm gonna also include like some reflection questions and stuff. These were like pictures that I took while I was purchasing the food. Yeah, so I'm going to, you know, play around with it, see what I can substitute out and make it my own, and that will be it. Of course, this ebook will be free of charge. You know, I'm not a professional or anything. I'm just trying to build my website up, so you know, doing free products like this is a way that I can do that. If you want, you can check out my Daniel fast video on my channel, and you can download your free ebook and see what meals that I made during this fast. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on this tonight, and then work on this tomorrow, and maybe record tomorrow as well, and then clean up and meal prep. My meal prep shouldn't be that hard this week because I'm making soup and no meat, so it should be fairly easy. I think I'm gonna take this immune defense. I used to take this stuff like every day. It's just extra vitamins and minerals that has like prebiotic, probiotic, a berry blend. It's a powder drink, and I usually like make it with a cup of green tea, and I'll put like a scoop of this in there. It has magnesium, zinc, potassium, vitamin C. I noticed that it will mess my stomach up. If I drank it on an empty stomach, I would literally throw this up. I don't drink this on an empty stomach anymore. You guys heard of that trick when you eat, like when you know you're eating out or eating bad, that you take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to try to decrease your glucose spike? They also say walking around helps too. Like after you eat, just walk around to kind of minimize the glucose spike. The glucose spike. And actually the person that I heard that from first on YouTube is Jessie. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She's French. I think she's a biochemist. She gives like tips and tricks on how to minimize glucose levels. I think she wore like one of those monitors that you wear in the back of your arm. She's the one who, like, check out her YouTube channel. She's the one who was telling people to drink apple cider vinegar after you have a big meal that you know is not the best. And I actually got this from the library for like $4. It was this one library I would go to when I was in the office all the time on my lunch break, because they had like so many good books. I bought so many good books from that library, and this was one of them. Also a lot of like nonfiction books as well. They had Colleen Hoover, Frida McFadden, Lisa Jewell, and they also had like a lot of cookbooks and a lot of like health books. I love that library so much, but I don't work at that company anymore, so I can't go there. I mean, I can go there, but I would have to go there on my own, which I have thought about, just to look at the library again. Stop cravings, get your energy back, feel amazing. Yeah. My son said he wanted to use his money to buy some cereal since we ran out. So I'm letting him purchase cereal. I'm teaching him financial responsibilities. He was allowed to take $20 out his little piggy bank. The cereal is, he wanted 2 boxes, but I had to let him know that's almost half of your money right there just on cereal. So you gotta teach these kids young. And then I see that they have these flapjacks, Kodiak flapjacks power cups on sale. These are actually really good, you guys. And the macros are not too bad. So I think I'm gonna grab me one of these since they're on sale. So I think I'm gonna grab the chocolate chip. I already have one of these at the house, but this is my favorite sugar-free syrup. It tastes so good. It doesn't have like that really strong artificial sweetener taste to it, unlike other sugar-free syrups that I've had. This is the best.
You're talking about Pickle Puff or? Yes.
I'm not getting anything, but if I want to indulge, I love these cookie and brownie mix bars, but I'm not gonna get anything. And these are the no sugar added chocolate chips I like to get, but I would get these from Big Lots because they're much cheaper there, but unfortunately they close all the Big Lots. So raspberry tea leaf to support your cycle, and also this is just really good in general. We got some Chick-fil-A.
It's been like 6 months since Mom actually had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and my son suggested it, so.
Yeah.
And of course, we have to get the Chick-fil-A and the Polynesian sauce. Of course, I had to get me a spicy deluxe chicken sandwich. It's the only thing that I get. And I'm going to top it off with all my sauce and some waffle fries. My son said that I have to try the birthday cake Oreo. I told him it probably tastes extremely sweet. I personally love Oreos, but I try to stay away from them as much as possible because one Oreo, y'all, is 70 calories, which is crazy. It's really sweet.
It's sweet for you?
Mm-hmm. You like it?
Yeah.
My daughter had requested these Fruit Loops from the store, and I see that it says good source of fiber, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what it's talking about. I look on the thing, it's talking about some 3 grams of fiber. How's that a good source of fiber? Anyways, so I finished making the beans, and I think I might have overcooked it a little bit because they're a little mushy, but it's fine because I'm gonna put it in the blender anyways to make it smooth. I'm gonna refrigerate it, and then we're gonna cook everything tomorrow. So yeah, this will make a creamy soup base with the added fiber and protein. Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, my day off. I've been up since like 6:30 a.m. I feel so much well rested. To me, that's like sleeping in, waking up at like 6 or 7 because I get up at 4:30 every day. And honestly, I'm almost getting tired of it, but this schedule kind of works best with work and the kids and stuff. So I'm grateful, but I am getting a little exhausted at waking up that early every day, even going to sleep early, like at 8:30 to accommodate for it. But today I got to sleep in. I didn't have to work out or whatever. And I've been working on my Daniel Fast ebook since this morning, and it's now noon, so I'm going to transition into something else. It's turning out really good, actually. I just need to make some adjustments and a few edits and make sure there's no spelling errors, and it should be just about done. I really like the way that it looked. It looks kind of better than I thought it would, so I'm really grateful for that. And now I'm about to go meal prep. I'm making some meatless soup today, and I want to bake a bread today for the first time. So I bought some yeast yesterday from Target, and we're gonna go bake some bread and meal prep.
You ready to go downstairs?
Yep. I am done cleaning the kitchen. However, before I start cooking, I want to eat something first, because honestly, cooking takes a lot of energy from me. All that standing around for like 4 hours. I don't think this is gonna take 4 hours because it's just a soup. I just have to put it in the pot and cut up some vegetables, and I've already blended the pumpkin and the beans, so it shouldn't take much since I'm not cooking a meat to go with it. But I also want to bake a bread, which I think will pair well with the soup, ironically. But I want to fuel my body first so I don't pass out on the floor. I cleared off the kitchen island. However, all the mess has been transferred over there. Every time my son comes home from school, he always brings a buttload of paperwork. So I have to shift through it and see what is needed and what can be thrown away. And then, you know, when my husband comes home from work, he puts all his stuff on the table. I'm not gonna lie, I have some stuff on the table over there too that's been sitting there for a few weeks. So we all can share the blame, but later I have to try to organize this table and do something with it.
Are you ready to bed? Are you ready to cook chicken?
And this is the bread recipe that we are going to make. This is my first time baking bread, and I got the yeast from Target. This is like the active yeast, not the fast one, and it's equivalent to 16 envelopes. I don't bake that much, but I guess I have to start baking some more. I want to make some cinnamon rolls again. You have to refrigerate this, and then you have to use it within 6 months. I'm laughing because I uploaded a short, right? This is actually a test to see if you will give up over any inconvenience or setback. Somebody said, okay, dang, God just be telling my business, huh? God be telling everybody's business to his children. I swear, because he does the same thing with me. Somebody will say something and I'll be like, I know that's God speaking to me. So it's funny how like he uses brothers and sisters in Christ to kind of, you know, speak to each other. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not making sense. Maybe I need food in my system. Anyways, I have my chicken drumstick and some salad that I'm about to eat. So I'm about to eat my food and then we can start the cooking process.
You gotta eat, you gotta cook.
Yep, I'm gonna eat and then I'm gonna cook.
Before you cook, you gotta eat.
Before I cook, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I you. Hooray!
Okay, y'all, I'm about to get started with the cooking. I ate my food, so I should be fueled up. And in this cup, I just have my lemon water mixed with some water flavorings. And then Target brand Emergency, because I can feel the tickle in my throat and I'm not trying to get sick. So this is my second cup of this. So I'm just gonna sip on this while we get started. Okay, so I'm going to add roasted garlic to my soup. So I buy the whole thing of garlic and I'm gonna cut the ends off. Be careful not to slice off your fingers. This is really difficult for me because it always breaks apart like this for some reason. I don't know how people do it, but I'm just gonna cut the ends off the garlic and leave the skin on because the skin has like flavor to it, but everything just collapsed. And I'm gonna take a piece of foil. Honestly, you guys, I would pretend like I'm on Food Network and start talking out my process. I like to roast the garlic like this because it brings out so much more flavor. So I'm gonna spray some olive oil and then I'm gonna add some salt and I'm gonna put this in my air fryer. Like I was saying, I would cook and then like talk my cooking process through. as if I'm on Food Network. How many of you guys grew up watching Food Network? I would watch that channel all the time. Rachel Ray with her EVOO. And I actually have, my husband actually brought me her hot cooking set. The blue pans that you guys see in my videos, that's from Rachel Ray. And you know what's so funny? I always be remembering when my mom would be like, she didn't clean her chicken. She would put the chicken straight from the package into the pan. You know how Caribbean women are, okay? They are obsessed about cleaning their chicken with like lemon juice and vinegar before cooking. I do that too, personally, because first of all, I don't want to see all that slime and stuff as I'm cooking my meat. So I do clean my meat. But my mom would be like,
oh, bagla song
li met sel avec poivre, and that's it. So I would be just like cracking up because she would be like saisi every time she would see Rachel Ray cooking. She was like, li pas même laver viande, li met sel avec poivre, and that's it. Li pas même met aucun onion épice. Ah, good times, good times. And these are my seasonings. I think I want to make like a curry based soup. So I got some chicken, not chicken. I wish I had some chicken tiki masala. Indian food is so bomb. Oh my god. Okay, I'm getting distracted. This is tiki masala curry. And then I got some regular curry powder. I always use like, these are my baseline seasonings, which is onion, garlic, pepper, paprika, crushed red pepper for a little bit of spice. Sazon, if you know, you know. Cajun spice. And then if I want to like make it a certain style, like Asian style, Indian style, girl, I had African style came into mind, but I never made African food, so I don't know what kind of seasoning they use. But like any type of, you know, Greek, whatever, then I add those type of seasonings in addition to this. But these are like my baseline seasonings. And then for today, I think I want to make it like curry style. And then I also have my bases. I have this chicken base that I got from Sam's Club. It's just a paste, like the chicken bouillon paste, and it's very concentrated, and you put them in soups and broths to give them flavor without using cubes. Now I do have some Maggi cubes that I will be using, and it looks like this. I grew up off of this stuff, okay? Maggi cubes is really popular in Haitian cooking and probably other parts of the Caribbean as well, because this is actually Spanish, so probably, you know, other Latin countries use this. I know they do, because what I noticed is that they don't have like a whole bunch of spices, so they have to use 1 cube for all their spices. But girl, why did I see right after this, right after I purchased this, why did I see somebody make their own homemade Maggi cubes on YouTube? I said, what? I could have just made my own. And then it got me looking at the ingredients. These ingredients ain't nothing on this picture that's on here. So I said, okay, I've been bamboozled. I feel like God was telling me like, okay, you can make this yourself for real, but I'm gonna let you slide. So once this is done, I brought 2 packs of these. Can you believe it? Once this is done, I want to see into making my own chicken bouillon cubes. It's not that hard, so I feel like I can do it. But for now, we're just gonna use this. And I do use MSG in my cooking. I have mentioned in my book actually that MSG, according to a doctor, can, I guess, mess with your brain chemistry, especially when it comes to like depression and stuff. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if I can let the MSG go. This is what my mom used in her cooking too, and I swear it enhances the cooking like 5 times more. It makes it like taste so much 5 times more flavorful, and I just use a little bit. I don't use a whole bunch, so I don't know, y'all. This might be a piece of crack that I cannot let go. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. I'm debating whether or not I want to add dumplings in this soup, or is that gonna be like too many carbs? But then again, it's like, why am I concerned with carbs? Okay, I just thought about how to make the dumplings a little bit healthier. So instead of using white flour, I'm gonna use a combination of oat flour, and then I have some wheat flour, but this is mixed with like this much white flour. It's not a lot to really make that much of a difference, but this is what I'm gonna do to make the dumplings.
What? Yeah, okay, what? What, Mama?
I remember when my mom would make bouillon soup, and she would put the dumplings in there, and I swear that was my favorite part of the soup. I didn't really like the soup itself, but I loved when she made the dumplings to go in it. So I got my chopped dumplings. I have my chopped onions and my dumpling balls right here that my daughter helped me make. Now we're about to get started on the soup. I put my Instant Pot on saute, and I'm going to drizzle some EVOO, and then we're gonna bloom our seasonings with some onions. So blooming your seasonings just means you saute your seasonings with some oil and some onions and maybe like a potato paste, or if you have some épices, which is a seasoning, like a green seasoning blend, and you just saute them in a hot pan just to heat up the seasonings to have the flavors more enhanced. So I'm gonna add my onions, and I have a few of the garlic ends that I saved from when I chopped the garlic, and this is what the roasted garlic is looking like out the air fryer. It's not as roasted as I would want it to be, but you just want to roast them enough to get like a little bit of caramelized color and for it to be soft, because then you could just smash it down inside the whatever dish that you're putting it in. I was adding water so that it doesn't burn and get stuck to the bottom of the pan. And then for my base of the soup, I'm going to add some tomato paste. The tomato paste comes in like a decent size can, and I always have leftovers because I don't use the whole thing. So I just separate it out and then freeze the rest. Tomato paste in soups and stews give it like a nice rich depth of flavor. From what I can see, like a lot of African dishes use tomato paste, and a lot of Caribbean dishes as well. Okay, so this is how it looks like so far, and this actually makes a great soup base. This is my coconut milk. My mom would buy like a legit coconut from the grocery store, but it's not like a green coconut, it's a brown hard coconut. It's not soft on the inside, and she would grate the coconut herself and add it to her cooking. So I added about half the can. It's really thick and creamy, and it adds like a nice, smooth, buttery, rich flavor to it. It actually smells really sweet. Hold on. Oh my gosh, that's actually good. What the heck? I never tasted it straight out the can, but like the whiff of it gave like really sweet. So I had to try it, and it does actually taste sweet. That would be so delicious in coffee, actually. I actually have this coffee creamer that I get from Aldi's. It's my favorite. It's called Coconut Cream. I think there's another brand that sells it, but I swear to you, I think Aldi came up with it first because I never seen it in any other brand. And then all of a sudden, like now all these other brands are coming out with that same flavor. That's my favorite flavor, coffee cream. Of course, creamers are not that healthy for you and full of, you know, added sugars or whatever. But I'm literally considering this to be like a better alternative because it's 100% coconut. And it tastes sweet naturally. What the heck? I don't know. I swear the Daniel Fast has changed my taste buds, because this has 1 gram of sugar, but for some reason it tastes sweet to me. Oh my gosh, this tastes so good already. What the heck? You need to sign me up for the Food Network. Okay, so that's how the broth is looking like so far. And by itself like this, it actually tastes really good. I don't know. Something about that coconut milk is like giving me life right now. I don't... Like, it tastes so sweet. Honestly, I would add water to this and just make this by itself the soup. But I ain't waste all, you know, I made the beans and the pumpkin, so we're gonna do that. Okay, y'all, so I have my pureed navy beans. And y'all, this had this house smelling like crazy farts. I'm not even gonna lie. I had this in my Instapot, and I came out of my room. I'm like, oh my gosh, who farted? The whole house smelled like farts, and I came downstairs. I was like, oh my gosh, it's these beans that smell like that. But you know what? This is a great natural detoxifier. I heard it can detox like excess hormones like estrogen and stuff like that.
Let me try it.
If you find yourself bloated, like right before your period, during your luteal phase, Karen Hurd actually says it's because of the excess hormones that's making you bloated. I was like, that's kind of crazy. So I don't think I'm gonna use the whole thing. I might just use half and then save the other half for another recipe or something. So I'm just gonna mix that in, and then I have my pureed butternut squash. Like, the squash tastes really sweet to me too. This is insane. But they don't really have that much sugar in them. Y'all, if your kids are a picky eater, a good way to sneak in beans is to liquefy, oh my gosh, liquefy them and add it to a dish, and they'll never know that there's beans in there. I don't know, some kids like my son are very picky, and they'll be able to detect any slight difference. Like, it's kind of crazy. There would be a slight deviation in something and he would notice. So that's how the soup looks like so far. Obviously it's very thick. I'm gonna dilute it with some water, and then I'm gonna add some more seasonings, because once you taste it, there's seasoning in there, but it tastes kind of bland because you added more stuff to it. So I'm gonna add some more seasoning. Oh, and I'm gonna add my garlic and mash it in there. I got some bay leaves from Ross. On the packaging it said it's really good for soups and stews. So I'm gonna add 1 dry bay leaf. Y'all, Ross, girl, that is my store, okay? It has like, it's like the one-stop shop. Like, I be finding my favorite oatmeal from there. I be finding oat flour, chia seeds. I'm gonna show y'all. This is what I found the other day at Ross. I found this big tub of chia seeds. This would cost like $15 at a health food store. This was only $7 at Ross. And you guys know chia seeds are good for fiber, and it has omega-3 fatty acids in it. It does have like a little bit of protein. 2.5 tablespoons has 10 grams of fiber in here. I like to put this in my oatmeal. And then I was running low on oat flour. I just so happened to go on this trip. I was like, God, please let them have some oat flour. And they had the oat flour, y'all. This is where I get my oat flour. Now, don't go to Ross and be buying up all the stuff that I like, okay? This big bag, is this like a pound? This is 2 pounds, actually. It's only $4. I brought 2 and I left some on the shelf. I was gonna buy everything off the shelf, but I feel like if you're stingy, then you're not gonna find stuff next time. So gotta be like, leave stuff on the shelf for other people. Don't buy up everything. And then this is the type of oatmeal that I like. This is the Australian oats. This is the first time that I've seen the creamy style oats. So I guess what they do is that they finely chop it so that when you cook it, it's more creamy like this. It usually comes in like humongous flakes, which is what I love about this oatmeal. And there's no glyphosate, which is a pesticide that they spray on oatmeal sometimes. So this is non-GMO. They might as well call it organic. I don't know why it's not named organic. But this big bag is only $4. And then also I prefer to use Himalayan salt over table salt. And I found this huge bag of pink Himalayan salt for only $3.99 at Ross. So what I'm gonna do is once this runs out, I'm just gonna refill the container and that's it. Ross is my jam. Don't sleep on Ross, okay? I feel like even when I become a millionaire, I'm still gonna be shopping at Ross. Like, I don't care. And fun fact, I used to actually work at Ross. Maybe that's why I love it so much. I used to do the markdowns, and I'm not gonna lie, I hated working there, but I loved when I used to find like deals at Ross. So I would do the markdowns in the morning and stuff like that, and I would find clothes and stuff for 49 cents. I'm not kidding. I don't know if they still do the 49 cents thing, but then I would put in my little markdown cart and I would buy it. I would spend like my whole paycheck there. Okay, maybe not the whole thing, but like the money would be funneled back into that store every time I get paid. But I'm not gonna lie, customer service is not for the weak. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna get into it. This is really good. And this is what I'm gonna be eating for the week, and that's it. Like, after this Daniel fast, I've really enjoyed and appreciate simplicity in life, because I feel like I kind of like overwhelmed and complicated life a little bit, and God had to sit me down, just simplify my processes and organize my brain a little bit. I'm also going to add my dumplings. You can add potatoes, corn, carrot, whatever you want. Woo! Chalet, that was not smart. Whatever you want into the soup. Okay, y'all, I wanted to make it simple, but I knew I was missing something. But I couldn't put my finger on it until I turned around and saw this bag of spinach laying on the counter. I meant to add my celery with my onions as I was blooming the seasonings, but of course I forgot. I always try to add some type of green veggie to my dish. One last taste test.
It good?
It good.
It good?
Okay, I think that's good. I don't even taste the beans. That's crazy. Like, it doesn't give it no type of extra taste, but then it has the added benefits. Girl, just trick yourself and just blend up some beans and add it to your stuff, and then you won't even taste it, but then you're getting all that fiber, protein, and your liver is gonna thank you. Okay, I'm gonna put it on soup. So that's gonna go for 30 minutes, and then we're gonna bake our bread next. Yay! Okay, so my soup is done, and I put everything in a Ziploc bag: the coconut milk, the bean puree, and the butternut squash. And I'm going to put this in the freezer and save it for another batch later. Let it finish venting, and then I turned it on the saute function because it was a little bit more liquidy than I prefer, so I'm just trying to thicken it up. You can also add like a flour slurry to thicken up soup, which is just water and flour, or you can use cornstarch. I tried one of these dumplings. It's very nostalgic because it's taking me back to when my mom used to make dumpling soup. I think the dumplings were a success. I see why people roll them up into like little logs instead, because you don't want the flour to be uncooked in the middle, so don't make like humongous balls in them. My mom would also like kind of flatten them out into like this shape. I'm gonna put it on the screen right here, so you can make balls, logs, or that dumpling looking shape to make your dumpling. So a fond memory of mine was when I was a little kid, my mom would always buy French bread at Safeway. My greedy little self, I would rip the end off the bread and then stuff my hand inside the French bread and just gather a whole bunch of it, form it into like a ball, and put it in the microwave and eat it just like that. It was so freaking good. I don't know if anybody ever knew it was me doing that, but I would do that. And then sometimes I would add peanut butter on it, and it was so delicious. Like, I love bread, you guys. I cannot wait to dive into the soup, soak it up with some bread. I am probably going to eat this soup for lunch and dinner for a few days. We'll see how long it lasts.